foul. That was absolutely ridiculous.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Up on down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series.
I don't know. It's tough. Tom's up there, man. Being tough.
Ladies and gentlemen, evacuating for Boston.
Oh boy. Oh no. From the looks of it, I've been scrolling through a few videos because I haven't done a Red Sox video in a while, and I figured, hey, I haven't talked about what this offseason could look like yet. I mean, I did, but it was a while ago. And I saw a couple of titles, one that we're reacting to today, and then this one right down here. I just saw this and I was like, uh-oh. Red Sox offseason report could make fans super angry. Was there a rumor that came out that I missed? Not looking too good. It's not looking too good. This one came out a day ago, so maybe it was on the Thursday. Maybe I just completely missed it. I don't know. But it looks like the Sox could be on their BS again. And that would be a damn shame. And that would really teach us how this front office really views this team. A team that just made the playoffs. They're on the cusp of becoming legitimate World Series contenders. They just need a few moves. Few big moves. Because they can spend the money. Money's not an issue to them. They let go of Rafi Devers, that entire contract, to give themselves more flexibility, even though there's no salary cap in baseball. They have one of the biggest markets in the sport. Red Sox are one of the most expensive teams in baseball. Like, they have one of the highest values across the sport. They can go out and have a big offseason. They haven't been in the tax threshold in a while. They're able to do it. If they wanted to go the Dodgers route and pulled all this deferred money shit, they can do it. So the fact that there are rumors coming out that they might not even have a big offseason, where they might not even get a star player in this league like Pete Alonso, or it just, I'm at a loss of words, because it's like, why? Why? It makes zero sense. Other than they don't care. And they're going to go the route like the Baltimore Orioles did. I don't want to sound like a hater. I don't want to sound too harsh. I really don't. But I have some thoughts going through my head with that reasoning that I'm just going to keep to myself, because I know I will get some backlash if I say this. So, maybe put 2 and 2 together as to what I'm thinking. If they do go this route, if they go the Baltimore Orioles route because they're too cheap, they don't want to make moves, and they just assume that the young core is going to get better, and they're just going to ride it out the way they have, like what they have right now, I have an opinion on that. Because the players don't deserve that. They deserve to get some help to help them eclipse themselves to a next level. The fans deserve a big offseason. The coaching staff deserves a big offseason. And you're going to sit here and tell us that you're going to be once again cheap when you're right there and you're so close from being one of the elite teams in the game of baseball right now? I really hope that this offseason doesn't turn out what the report is. I haven't even seen the report. I'm going to try and pull it up as we're watching this video here, but I know Red Seat Radio is going to come in here red hot. He's going to come in here absolutely angry. And like I've been saying to you people, don't believe it until it happens. Don't believe it till it happens. Like, that's the thing I'm going to now question, too. Is Alex Bregman gone? Like, are they going to do anything at all? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But we're going to react to this video here. And I'm going to get my inside scoop of what I've missed. And while this video is going to begin to play, I'm going to try and pull up the rumor that everybody has seen. Maybe even Red Seat Radio will put it up in the screen here. That's what I'm thinking right now. So, we're going to react to this video here. I'm going to stop talking and stop speaking some Japanese and just head into the video here because this is all news to me. And boy, if this turns out to be true, I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Bree. I'm sorry, Steph. I'm sorry, Edom. I'm sorry, Caveman. I'm sorry to the people who are subscribed to this channel that hate to see me say the same nonsense over and over again. Boy, it's going to come even harder this time than it has been. Because it really looks like, from what I'm gathering at least, they're going the same route as they did it after the 2021 season. And that's damning. That's embarrassing. So, we're going to react to this video here. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed these videos. Subscribe now if you guys new. You guys know what to do. Go check out the website. The link is in the description down below. You guys will be notified whenever you drop an upload. Hit that notification bell so you can be the first one to watch these videos. If you guys want to go subscribe to Red Seat Radio, I'll leave his channel link in the description down below. Also, the link to this original video in the description down below. Without further ado, stop straight in the video. Oh, God. 15 minutes long. This better be 15 minutes of you bashing front office. Pre-offseason. Pre-offseason, pretty much.
Yeah, people weren't too happy with this report here, folks.
Whoa. That's sick. Yo, W introduction for Red Seat Radio. I was thinking about doing an introduction.
Yeah, people weren't too happy with this report here, folks.
Something like this. With the new logo that I have, but like incorporate the music that I have and the moments that are in the introduction song. I might make a new introduction to videos with the new logo that I have, because the new logo is obviously fire, as you guys can tell. But, new introduction, probably time for a new introduction video, rather than just a blank screen with the logo on it, so. W introduction here. And then you got the videos in the background, too, of the highlights. That's sick.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. Guys, we are still raising money for the Movember Foundation. There's only a few days left in this fundraiser. Our goal is to get to $3,000, and if we do, we're going to be giving away opening day tickets. We're very close to 2/3 of the way there. Let's see if we can get there by the end of this week. Thank you very much to those who have donated and who are going to donate. Anyways, it's been pretty quiet on the Eastern Front here, huh? I mean, yes, we've got some craziness with the Rule 5 deadline and all those trades that took place, but they weren't crazy impactful, and today is the arbitration deadline.
Oh, yeah. I hate pausing this much early in the video, but like, why did they trade Brenna Bernardino? He's one of the more reliable lefty specialists on your team. Like, he's got good stuff. He's got a great fastball. He's got great off-speed stuff. And he's shown success. Like, he's been up and down between the majors and the minors. I don't know why. But I felt like he was one of your more reliable bullpen arms. You just trade him away to the Rockies? That one didn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. That one did not make any sense, that trade. Again, the only way that probably made sense for me is if you're going to go get yourself some bullpen pieces. And he just didn't fit. But that one didn't make sense to me. Some of the moves that they made have been very minor. Not talk about, but like that one, I can briefly discuss on this video here at least. That one did not make any sense to me. I don't know why.
Headline for a lot of baseball teams, well, every baseball team I should say, so maybe we see something surprising pop up there. But in terms of external additions to the Boston Red Sox, it's been kind of radio silent. I mean, it's really been radio silent throughout all of Major League Baseball. There hasn't been much in terms of rumors or reports or anything going on in terms of where teams are. And I think that's driving Red Sox fans specifically a little bit crazy and a little bit out of their mind. And I think yesterday's report didn't help that much either, because Alex Spear on the 310 to Left podcast basically said that he believes the Red Sox are only in the market for one big bat.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Now, this was...
Now, see, for me at least, one big bat basically means like one big star. That's how I view that. Like, does this include Alex Bregman coming back? Because if it does, then honestly, maybe I can live with it. Maybe. But, I'm sorry. You should be able to afford Bregman, Schwarber, Alonso. All three of them. Or a combination of the three. Alonso, Bregman, Tucker. Schwarber, Bregman, Tucker. Doesn't matter. You should be able to afford all three of them. You should be able to afford three of them. Why are we money pinching? Why are we not going all in, putting chips in the middle of the table? Like, it doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. Besides one simple logical reasoning, and that's that the ownership does not care. That's the only way that makes sense. They get one big bat, they'll say to them, hey, see, Red Sox fans, we did something to move the needle for us, or whatever. Try to get them to buy in, try to sell them, or whatever. Like, they'll do it. Boy, they'll sell them, that's for sure, because years in the past, they would do one tiny move where people would be like, oh my god, they're back! Not me, fool. Not me. You ain't fooling me with the cheese. You ain't getting me. I know how you run. I know how you think. And I'll tell you something right now. I'll tell you something right now, too. I will be there for the opening weekend. Not the home opener. The entire weekend. And let me tell you something right now, FSG. I ain't coming in easy. That entire weekend, you will not see me in a Red Sox uniform. If it's a Red Sox uniform, it's this person's number. That's it. That is it. I am coming in with this. I'm coming in with this guy. That should not be breaking news. Boy, if you have a bad offseason, oh goodness gracious, you're gonna get it from me that entire weekend.
Said on the Nesson, I would say flagship podcast. I don't really know where it stands in terms of their ratings or whatever, but it's the 310 to Left podcast hosted by TC and Alex Spear. I would show you the entire clip, but apparently Nesson does not like Red Seat Radio, which is fine by me, so we can't...
Really? Really? You're copyright claiming Red Seat Radio? Really? The most optimistic Red Sox fan out there. You're copyright claiming him? Nesson, I've used your videos before in reaction videos. Not a single time have I been copyright claimed by you guys. And I put out so much hate towards your owners. You're copyright claiming this guy? Not me? Not me. I'm talking shit about your owners. And you're not copyright claiming me? But you're copyright claiming him?
Exactly show it on YouTube, but what I can do is show you the actual quote that's been making its way in terms of people starting to get angry with it. The quote is, I feel like the Red Sox are in position to add multiple position players, but I feel like in terms of the top tier, you're looking at trying to identify one player from that and then having maybe a mid-tier free agent. Now, I think some of you are sitting there like, oh boy, here we go again, and then other people are sitting there saying, yeah, why is this making people angry? And I think that's the best place to start. Why would the idea of saying, hey, let's see the Red Sox go out and get a top-tier free agent and a mid-tier free agent to help this offense be something that angers Red Sox fans? I think ultimately why people are a little bit frustrated with this sort of reporting from Alex Spear here is the idea of what Craig Breslow has been saying the entirety of this offseason. To basically anyone who listened to 310 themselves, where he said, look, we're looking to take a significant step forward offensively and really sort of enter this window of contention, right? That's been their whole goal this entire offseason, or at least so far this offseason.
What Alex Spear's report does is that it takes the legitimacy out of what Craig Breslow's saying. Saying that they're looking to take a big leap this offseason, like, it makes it look like that the Red Sox are trying to be sleazebags and trying to lie again about where they stand. That's why. That's why people are getting angry about it. As they should. Rightfully so. Because in years in the past, we've seen them do this. We've seen them do this. The biggest one, to me at least, is after that 2021 season. That's the biggest one. Where they were 2 wins away from a World Series. You probably should have been in the World Series if it wasn't for Laz Diaz behind the plate. And then you take a huge regress back by letting go of the guys that helped you get to the position where you were, and your only signing was Trevor Story. An injury-prone Trevor Story.
Season. To a lot of people, that meant landing multiple big fish, right? You look at one of the big fish here, it's Alex Bregman, who you had on your team in 2025. Bringing him back doesn't immediately make your team better. It sort of puts your team where it's at.
Right.
But losing him immediately make your team worse, right? If you're only going to get Bregman, you're not improving this team. If you don't get Bregman, it also feels like you didn't truly improve this team all that much. I mean, yes, Alonso's an absolute star power bat. Schwarber, absolute star power bats. He didn't even mention Kyle Tucker, which is funny to me, but star power bat. Bichette, also star power bat, right? But you add one of those guys in and you lose Alex Bregman. How much better did you get from 2025?
You don't.
Because it doesn't feel like it's going to be a lot. Yes, you're probably adding more home run potential than what you had with Alex Bregman, but you're also losing that contact ability. You have this trade-off here, and you're not really making your team incredibly better. You're just changing the landscape of your team a little bit.
And that's the point where I'm trying to make here. Like, if you're keeping Bregman and then getting somebody else, then great, fine. I won't give you heat for it. I'll say that they could have gotten both Pete Alonso and Schwarber along with keeping Bregman or whatever. I'll say that. But I won't come in here and calling you cheap. And not... What's the word that I'm looking for here? And not elevating your team to that next level. I won't come in here saying that. But if you keep Bregman and don't sign anybody else, I'm getting on you for that. If you sign Alonso... but let Bregman go, and that's the only move you do, is get Alonso, I'm going to give you heat for that. Same if it's with Schwarber, and you don't get Alonso, and you let Bregman go. I'm giving you heat for that. is because you're not going with what you're saying is what you're doing. Like, you're not saying the right things. You're lying to your fan base of where you stand as a franchise. And you don't necessarily care about winning. You don't. It's just as simple as that. If you go the route that Alex Spear is saying that you're probably going, you've lied to your fan base once again. Just when this team's about to get an ounce of hope back that they're going to return to their rightful form, you're going to immediately take it away from the fans? That's what after the season you just had, letting your face of the franchise go, you better at least keep Bregman, and you better bring a piece with him in that lineup. Because if you don't, you lost Devers for nothing. And that would make that trade 1,000 times worse.
Right, and I think that's why immediately Red Sox fans look at this and they go, well, our plan, I think as Red Sox fans, especially sitting here with the financial might that the Red Sox have, and after the season that they just had, not to mention the words that Craig Breslow said, we're expecting bigger things, right? We're expecting for the Red Sox to sit here and to say we need Bregman and another top-tier free agent, because that would be a significant improvement, right? Because getting back to Bregman, you're back to 2025, like I said, and then you add an Alonso, and all of a sudden you're adding 30 plus, 40 plus home runs to a lineup that was really fantastic for most of the season, right? And that's a legitimate improvement. So immediately you sit there and you say, well, wait a second. If they're not going to do that, are they planning on significantly improving enough to actually get to where we believe the Red Sox should be going forward, right? And immediately that's what angers Red Sox fans. But before we get our pitchforks and torches out and start berating this Red Sox team, let's talk about what that would actually look like. A bigger bat and then a mid-tier bat. Because I think there's a difference in what mid-tier is actually talking about, right? Because if Spears right now talking about sort of this upper mid-tier of the MLB free agent market, I still think the Red Sox can make some legitimate improvements here, right? I don't think it has to be a Bregman Alonso or a Bregman Bichette or whoever it may end up being here in order for it to be a legitimate improvement for the Boston Red Sox. If you're talking about sort of those guys are your upper echelon, but let's talk about AB here, right? Alex Spears specifically mentions Eugenio Suarez and Jorge Polanco as sort of mid-tier free agent options.
No, for me, not enough. I mean, Suarez probably fits well in your ballpark. No. What are we, the Tampa Bay freaking Rays here? No. I want legitimate stars on this team. I don't care about these mid-level players. No, thank you. What does this really do for this Red Sox team? Suarez, you might convince me on that. But no. I'm all set. I want Alonso. I'm thinking big. These guys right here are not going to elevate you to World Series contention. They're just not. They're not doing that for you.
Now, if it's Suarez, I'll be honest, I'm not exactly a happy camper. I know he had a solid season. I know it was 50 home runs basically and 120 RBIs, a little bit less.
Yeah, 228 batting average. I'm good. I'm all set on that. He had 118 RBIs, 49 home runs. Like, that's great. But not even a 300 on-base percentage. I'm good on that. I'm good.
But right around that number. But there's a couple of things that really scare me about Suarez. First and foremost, he fell apart after joining the Seattle Mariners. And you look at the peripherals, this to me does not scream a guy who's going to transform the Boston Red Sox, right? To me, this actually screams this could be a problem on a multi-year deal, especially because he also doesn't play great defense over there at third base. And this is going to be his age 34 season. So you'd essentially be saying, okay, goodbye Bregman for an older player with a bit more thump, absolutely, but a whole lot more strikeouts, a lot worse defense.
Which they're trying to cut down, by the way. They're trying to cut down that strikeout rate. That's what they're going to try and do. But
and a guy who doesn't hit the ball hard on a consistent level.
Right.
Polanco, on the other hand, is somebody I'd be a bit more okay with, right? He's got a lot of versatility, a lot of pop, can play a lot of different positions. His peripherals look much more on par with what he did this season with 26 home runs and 76 RBIs. I don't think it'd be a bad piece at all, but again, this would be a true complementary.
Still no. No. Still no. He isn't driving enough runs to elevate you to a World Series No. I'm all set. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good off that. Like, this is somebody who they should probably go after once they sign Bregman, once they sign Alonso. But if Bregman with this, like, no, thank you, I'm all set.
Piece, right? This isn't a dude who you're going to stick out at second base for 160 games because his defense, as well as Suarez's, is not incredibly fantastic, right? He would be mostly a DH for the Boston Red Sox, so he adds versatility being that switch hitter.
No, thank you.
But you're also limiting
RBIs
your defensive capabilities a little bit. Is that worth the trade-off for 26 home runs? I don't exactly know, right? The contract would be shorter, the money would be shorter, but with the impact it actually has on the Boston Red Sox, be what we want it to be to bring this team to the next level. Now,
he's a
Polanco
left-handed
is
hitter too,
the
isn't
third guy you add to this lineup, right? Maybe you bring Bregman back, maybe you sign somebody else we're going to talk about in a second, and then you add Jorge Polanco to this lineup. Then I think you really are adding a legitimate mid-tier free agent that's going to really kind of drastically change the Boston Red Sox, but that's in tandem with two other people. Just getting Alonso and Polanco, I don't know how much better the Red Sox are going to be in 2026 than they were in 2025. But it would still be an impact-type bat, and I think a lot of people would be relatively satisfied with that offseason. However, what if the Red Sox are considering a guy like Okamoto to be that mid-tier free agent? I mean, to me personally, Okamoto makes a lot of sense being in that sort of upper mid, lower top tier type talent. You take a look at what his projected contract is expected to be. It's expected to be 4 years, $64 million, which is just over $15 million a season. That is certainly not top tier, upper echelon type money, and it could end up even being shorter than the 4-year deal because he's coming into MLB at age 30. This could absolutely be a guy, given his contact ability, the fact that he has a really solid eye, and the fact that he was constantly putting up 30-ish home runs a year in the NPB, not to mention his plus defense at third base and first base, that is a guy who ends up being almost as impactful as one of these upper echelon type players, right?
I don't know. I saw the Red Sox go after Yoshida, and I'm like, it's a big if. Hitting might be a little bit different over there as opposed to it is here. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Like, again, that could be me thinking about how Yoshida turned out for the Red Sox, and I'm thinking stay away, but that's not going to do enough for me.
This is the sort of mid-tier I'm talking about here when I'm saying, hey, let's hold off on the pitchforks and torches before we start getting angry here, right? Because if you end up with a Bregman or Alonso and then bring in Okamoto to fill that other corner position, that would give you the veteran production that you need. It would add star power to this lineup a little bit, and it would give you more home run hitting ability in the lineup, regardless of what big name contract ends up looking like, right? And to be honest with you, again, you talk about, okay, why shouldn't we be incredibly angry at this report from Alex Spear? In my opinion, the biggest reason is because it's one man's opinion, right? Alex Spear is probably the most respected Red Sox journalist out there. This is a guy who constantly either has the best, takes, has the best news breaking. He's on the pulse with the Boston Red Sox, but this is also not a, hey, this is what I'm hearing from the Boston Red Sox. This is my educated guess based on sort of the onset of what the Red Sox have done in the past and because of what I think they're going to do in the future, right? This is more of an opinion piece than it is truly a report, and I think that's important to mention when we're talking about whether or not this is a reality for this Red Sox team. But in my opinion, again, you go back to, okay, what if it is Alonso and Okamoto, right? You get plus defense at third base, you get your contact ability, you get the 40-plus home run potential here.
Again, you need first base. You need first base. That's what you really need. You need first base. Now, for granted, he's saying Alonso and he's saying Okamoto, which would be first and third base. So, like, okay, cool. What about the DH position now? Where are you going to put Meyer? Is he going to second base? I would assume he's going to second base. I'm assuming Meyer's going to be the second baseman anyways. That's just how I think. That's how I feel. I think he's more of a second baseman than he is third baseman because you got Story over there, shortstop. He's going to be here for the foreseeable future. So, like, I think Meyer's going to be at second base. So, what do you do at DH? That's where I stand still. There is a plan where I say you could fit all these positions in the field and you don't even have to trade an outfielder. But I don't know. The guy who I'm saying you move from the outfield to DH just won a Gold Glove. So, like, I don't know really how that would fit with this Sox team right now. But, like, there is a way where you can just do 2 moves in the field and move one of your guys from the field to DH. And then there you go. But, like, again, you got to trade to get your second pitcher in the rotation, like your number 2 pitcher. Or your second ace, I should say. So, like, is it really ideal for you to move this certain guy out of the field to DH when you're probably going to want to trade for a starting pitcher anyways? No. The best route, I think, for this Sox team is to get 3 players, 3 bats, first base, DH, get Bregman back. That's what I think the best case scenario for them is. And then you go out and trade for a starting pitcher like Scooble. There's been rumors floating around about Skeens looking at his new team maybe, but, like, I'm not going to go that far saying to go get Skeens, but, like, that's what you should be doing. You should be going after your number 2 pitcher via trade. And trading off a piece, maybe 2 from that outfield to try and get yourself that second ace. A Joe Ryan would be another good one. Joe Ryan, Scooble, those 2 would be acquired via trade, like either one, obviously. And then you get Schwarber, Alonso, and Bregman at third. That's how I would go about this offseason if I was the Sox. But if you can't, then the way I would go is Alonso, Bregman, and I don't even know. Polanco would be fine for me, I guess. But, like, you got to keep Bregman, and you have to get one of the 2 biggest bats on the market, which is Schwarber or Alonso. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's how it has to go.
The guy who can also hit 30-plus home runs, and you get a guy who's not going to strike out and sort of balance out that big power-hitting bat. To me, that's still a successful offseason, right? And so I think there's levels to the idea of whether or not you're going to go for this mid-tier talent. Still, I sit here and it's hard for part of me to not be like, what are we doing here? Right, the Red Sox just came off of a season that clearly indicated that they are willing and able to get to this sort of upper echelon in terms of competition in Major League Baseball. On top of that, you have more financial might than 90% of other baseball teams, right? You are making more profits than most other baseball teams in this sport.
You have the most expensive ticket in baseball. Should we really be
expecting the Red Sox to go and sort of dip their hook in the big fish ocean, grab themselves one, and then be like, okay, guys, yeah, thanks for the charter. We're going to head back.
And I got to tell you, it was perfect.
One kiss is all it takes.
my God. I'm fucking dead. Excuse my language. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is incredible. Oh my God, wow. That's round of applause for that one. That's incredible. That's genius.
We really be expecting the Red Sox to go and sort of dip their hook in the big fish ocean, grab themselves one, and then be like, okay, guys, yeah, thanks for the charter. We're going to head back to our little pond over here and see what we can kind of scrap together to finish out this lineup. In my opinion,
that's
absolutely not,
incredible.
right? We should be holding this Red Sox team to the highest standard possible because that's what we should expect given the season they had last year and given the money that they have at their disposal. This should be very easily Bregman and another top-tier free agent, right? The Red Sox should be specifically big game hunting this offseason. My fear with this report is that the Red Sox are going to fall into the trap that they have specifically told themselves and told us they don't want to, right? If you go out and you sign, let's hypothetically say you re-sign Alex Bregman, you sign Okamoto. Well, you've got yourself a wild card here in Okamoto, and you don't really know what to expect. In my opinion, it's going to be a whole lot of good things here, but you're also still relying on a lot of your players to take a step forward. That's specifically what Breslow said he does not want to do, right?
Right, and that's why you're going to get heat from me if that's the offseason you have. That is why. Because Okamoto, again, like he just said, it is a big if. We don't know what he's going to be like in the major leagues. He's never stepped foot in a MLB batter's box yet. He hasn't faced the pitching that's in this league yet. Like, how do we know he's not going to be what he was over there? How do we know that he's going to be what he was over there? We don't. We don't know anything about him. Well, yes, he's put some good numbers over there. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to put the same numbers up over here. It doesn't mean he won't either. Again, you're relying on a big if. If you accomplish what you're supposed to do this offseason, and then you want to say, hey, let's take a gamble on him. Sure. You get Bregman, you get Alonso, and then you're like, you know what? We view Alonso as a DH more so. Let's take a gamble on Okamoto. Sure. Great. Fine. Absolutely. But if it's Bregman, that for me, that's like a D plus C minus offseason. Probably flirting more with the D. Pause.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I wouldn't be satisfied. I would give them heat. I would.
Expect these young players to take a step forward. If you do not bring in a Bregman and Alonso, you're still going to end up relying on guys like Meyer and Campbell and potentially even a guy like Yoshida or even Tristan Casas to be a bigger impact than what you would expect them to be if you were to say bring in a Bichette and Alonso or a Schwarber and Alonso or a Bregman and Alonso or whoever and whoever, right? Maybe a Bregman and a Bichette. Let's get a little bit funky in this mother. Anyways, you do that and all of a sudden these guys are sort of on the peripheral, right? If Meyer starts to become the superstar talent that we all know he can be, you've added another notch on your list of guys who can compete here. If Meyer doesn't become that guy and you only have Okamoto who's taken 3 months to adjust to major league pitching and Bregman's doing what he did last year, which is be a solid bat but not be that guy who's going to hit you 30, 40 home runs, who's going to drive in 115, 120 RBIs here, you didn't make your team much better.
Right.
right? And so that's my fear, is that they fall into this trap of expecting their younger players to take this step forward when the only thing that they have said this offseason is that they want to take a significant step forward and they don't want to rely on these young players to do that. And I think that's why Red Sox fans see reports like this and go, oh boy, right? Not only is there the history, obviously, with everything that's happened over the last few years with the Red Sox, but you've got these sort of statements that you sit there and you say, these are big statements from Craig Breslow. If you don't live up to these, everything this offseason, no matter what you do, is going to be considered a failure. So while I'm sitting here and I'm not getting overly upset about this report from Alex Spear, and while I'm sitting here saying the Red Sox can still have a successful offseason by going one top-tier guy, one mid-tier guy, I think my minimum for a mid-tier guy, or my floor here, should be Okamoto, right? You should be looking at Okamoto and above. And if you're not doing that, I think that is a bit of a failure on the Red Sox part.
It is.
So we'll see what ends up happening with this. But yeah, I think fans are going to be angry with this statement. So let me know in the comment section down below. Are you angry? Are you sitting there here?
You know, like, here's my thing. Like, they keep doing this type of stuff, and like this turns out to be true. That's content on my end. It's content either way. So, sorry, Sox fans, but if it goes this route, buckle up. Buckle up. You're gonna not like the things I'm gonna have to say if it does go this route. But anyways, I'm going to call it here. That's going to do it for this video here. Leave us a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe now if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go to our website. The link is in the description down below. You guys be notified whenever we drop an upload. Hit that notification bell so you be the first one to watch these videos. Go subscribe to Red Seat Radio. Go check out his original video. I'll leave his channel link and the original video link in the description down below. Go shoot him to subscribe. Let him know your boy sent you over. Thank you guys for watching this one. It's been your boy Jesse, and we'll see ya in the next video. Later, guys. You better do something, Red Sox. That's all I got to tell you right now.